Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Randy Prizzle's Link and Ting with me, Randy Prizzle. You know what the deal is here, usually on Randy Prizzle's Link and Ting. If you're feeling this episode, you know what to do below. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, Randy Prizzle's Link and Ting, check them all out on the page, the Randy Prizzle page. Cool, let's get into it. Georgie says, my most irrational fear, raw tomatoes, shiver. Now, I don't have a problem with raw tomatoes. I mean, I don't know what you mean by, generally. I think raw tomatoes, are kind of the best kind, aren't they? You pick them up, you cut them up, you put them in a salad or something like that, which is cool. Do you know what I mean? I don't get the obsession with not liking raw tomatoes. Before, probably back in my days, I probably wasn't a fan of tomatoes when they were whole. But, looking into it now, I don't mind them. Obviously, prefer them cut up, put in the stew, which will make it taste absolutely grand. How to usually make stew, for the people out there who don't know how to make proper stew, you take yourself some onions, you take yourself some tomatoes, add some seasoning, some herbs, probably a bit of garlic as well, and onions too, and then you give it a nice bit of stir, and then after that, you let it simmer in the pot, bit of oil as well, and that should do you nicely. Now you got some bit of stew going on nicely. What you can do, you add stew, chicken, beef, whatever you like. Some people, if you want to add vegetable, that's fine. It's up to you. But that's what usually makes a stew. So just for some people out there, in case you didn't know. But anyways, a lot of you probably did know. It's just me, trying to show my culinary skills there and trying to impress some people. But whatever. Stew's one of the easiest things, so I really ain't impressing too much people. But whatever. She's 27, she's 5'5", she lives here in London town. But anyways, I just see that she's put the next one. She's changed her mind about tomatoes. Okay, and then she's gone for another thing. Fact about me that surprises people: I don't like tomatoes. This is a real tomato trend she's got going on there. See, she has a real sense of humour, Georgie. I like that. You know what I mean? Quite funny. But I would have liked to know a bit more about her, but she doesn't have that much there. In terms of, obviously, if I'm feeling her, I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure that out right now. I mean, okay, just getting a bit more of a closer view and everything, and just trying to take it all in. Fortunately, she just doesn't have really much of that je ne sais quoi for me, so it's going to be a no for me. It's not just a tomato thing. I think, I would have need to know a bit more about her, but she didn't put much. We come to Josie. Josie says, what I wanted to be when I grew up, an archaeologist, but I buried that dream ages ago. That's very funny. I think I may have come across Josie before. I think I've heard that joke before as well. But anyways, let's just continue, just in case I haven't. She's 26, she's 5'3", product assistant at Cookie Studio she is. She got detention for asking for more work. Yeah, I definitely have come across her. I know this is a repeat one because I've heard this before. So we're going to just go, no, put an X on that one and move to the next person, which is Jocelyn. Jocelyn says, what I'd like to know about you. What are you reading at the moment? Currently, nothing. I mean, if you're asking me what I like reading, comics, general facts about people, you could talk about Guinness Book of Records, biographies, for the important people, like Arsenal players and football players, biographies. Don't really want to know too much about someone who's, political and all that. I don't really care about that. But anyways, that's just what I'm saying there. But get on to more of what Jocelyn's saying. She's 27, she's 6 foot. She's a cabinet office. A bit too tall for me, but we'll still see what she's saying. What if I told you that shyness is nice, but shyness can stop you from doing all the things in life you'd like to? Yes, and I can be a bit, obviously at times, it depends. When I'm around new people that I don't know, I can tend to be a pretty withdrawn, but more of a person who scopes from afar. Do you know what I mean? So people might take that as shyness, but yes, I do agree that shyness can stop you from doing all the things in life you would like. That's why I've tried to get myself out of being too shy. If you asked me probably about 4, 5, maybe 6 years ago, maybe even longer actually, I was probably a lot more shy. Maybe even to the days where, I couldn't really be much around people because of previous encounters with people that hadn't really gone right. So it kind of made me be a bit more in my shell, and trying to come out of that and trying to help myself basically. But generally don't know, and trying to put myself to the wolves, you could say, because you don't know out there who's a wolves in sheep's clothing. You just generally have to go out there and find out. So, but anyways, next thing she says, I take pride in my excellent karaoke skills. I'd like to hear her on the mic. She's quite good. But some people will talk, but they're actually not all that great. We wait, find out. Apart from all that, I don't really want to find out. So, fortunately for Jocelyn, it's going to be a no from me. We come to another Georgia. The key to my heart is, she says, if you don't take yourself too seriously, you like to open a book every now and then, and you're unafraid of the fact that I could drink you under the table. I like to see you try and drink me under the table. As I said, I tried one day. I had about 6 cans. I think I told the story before. 6 cans of cider, and I think a couple more of stuff, which completely went to my head. But I ended up the day absolutely fine. The night, I could say. Well, the next day I was fine. So, do you know what I mean? So, sucks to be you if you can't drink. But anyways, she's 29. She's 5'8". She's a film producer at freelance. She's a freelance film producer. Some more about her. She flips out over losing at anything. So she's very competitive. She doesn't like to lose. That could be a problem, I think sometimes you have to have a bit of game spirit, especially if you lose some games. If you're not able to take that, we could have a bit of a fight. I don't want to have a fight with someone over a game. It's just ridiculous. But anyways, we'll move on to the next thing she's saying. I get along best with people who can discuss rugby, comedy, craft beer, and string theory. Please explain to me. Don't know what string theory is. I think I may have come across it before. I'm going to this profile, I realise I may have. Yeah, what's with the repeated profiles, man? The site needs to fix up. X on that one. So, I know I've come across her before. X, I've come across her before. Let's see, let's try and rearrange this thing, because this is mad. Do you know what I mean? To have repeat profiles and you having to repeat yourself is quite annoying. Do you know what I mean? That's not cool. They need to fix up this site. Really needs to fix up. Okay, we come on to Clara. I don't think I've come across her before because I've never seen her before, so let's get on to more of her. What if I told you that I'm secretly just a bunch of cats taped together? That's just weird. That's batshit weird, crazy. Yeah, already that's kind of freaky, but it's freaky in a bad way, not in a good way. So already I'm a bit like, what the F? But anyways, let's get into more of what she's saying. She's 29, she's 5'5". She says her job is tattoos and that. I guess she's a tattoo artist, I guess. But anyways, a bit more about her. Give me travel tips for my flat. It's getting pretty boring just walking from one end of the house to another. Find something to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, your flat's your flat. Unless you move out and find a home, then that's your flat, isn't it? Or find a better place. Get yourself together and do that. But if you don't want to, then don't complain about it. Unfortunately, that's the place you live. You've got to try and customise and adjust yourself to it. Listen, before when I moved into the place I am, obviously with my parents currently, which was about 13 or something years ago, when I was about 15, 16, it was really difficult for me to try and adjust to coming into a new place and trying to settle down and everything like that. But eventually I'd done it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I like this place, I proper love it, but I'm getting to I like it now. Do you know what I mean? I've got my own space, my own room, my own thing to do, whatever I want to do. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this Lincoln thing. I would be finding somewhere else or outside on the balcony to be doing this. Because we used to have a high balcony. I could go outside and I could sit out there. And it would be views. Do you know what I mean? I had some great views. But at the same time, it would be mad. Do you know what I mean? Let's just leave it as that. But anyways, that's in the past. Let's just move forward. She says, my love language is aggressive sarcasm. Okay, I'm just going to leave that as that. But apart from all that, she scares crap out of me. So unfortunately for Clara, it's going to be a no for me. I've come across her before. X. I'm just going to keep doing this until I come across someone I've not seen before. Because this site is quite frustrating. Yeah, sorry about noise in the background, you know. I'm not alone, as I said, so. Simone, I'll come to. A sign of a great first date, if there is a lot of laughter, a bit of culture, and maybe a pint involved. Cool. Wouldn't mind laughter, culture, and pint. But a pint, obviously, you know, cider for me. Don't really want any of that beer stuff, you know. Beer's not right for me. People must say, how do you not like beer? It's too bitter. I like sweet tings. You know what I mean? I'm a sweet man, I like sweet tings. That's all I got to say on that. Let's move forward. She's 32, she's 5'10", a bit tall for me. We'll continue on that one. She's a senior IVF nurse. Big up to all the nurses. The NHS doing a fantastic job for us. Let's get on to more of what she's saying. My simple pleasures, a good book, going to the movies at least once a week, and a great cup of tea. Book, okay, I mean, as I said, usually for me, probably something of an autobiography, probably something along the lines of a Guinness Book of Record, or even comics. Going to the movies, love that. I love going to my ones, find it the most entertaining to go there and no one's yapping in your ear about how the film is this or that. But I don't mind going with friends, do you know what I mean? I've been with a couple of friends before, wouldn't mind doing it again, but I do like to go on my own most of the time. It's so sick, absolutely sick. I mean, sick is in a good way, if you didn't know that, but anyways. A great cup of tea, depends on what the tea is, do you know what I mean? Some people can talk about Horlicks and things like that, don't really know about them. Probably just a normal standard tea, I guess, you know, with a bit of milk. And people would say, how would you usually like your tea? Somewhere between not too creamy, not too, you could say more of like a light brown texture. That's kind of how I like my tea, so that's how I'd leave it as. Cool. The next thing she says, the dorkiest thing about me is I love magic and juggling and currently trying it myself. I mean, good luck with that. Do you know what I mean? If you can turn out to be David Blaine, I guess you'll make a lot of money and you'll be great in this, you know, world of magician and all that. So, but if you fail, then stick to your day job. But anyways, apart from all that, I'm not really feeling Simone, so it's going to be a no for me. I've come across her before. Don't know. Don't think I have, but let's go on to her. Avril. I'll introduce you to my family if you can make me talk non-stop. Well, I guess I don't really want to hear you yapping too much about, you know, stuff, because if you yap too much, then that could really put me off. But it depends what we yap about. It really depends on that, I guess. So, next thing she's saying, she's 28. She's a woman, she's 5'8", she's a makeup artist. Cool. Next thing she's saying, I go crazy for music, she says. Depends what music you like. I mean, I'd usually like the old school vibes music, as I've usually said before, 80s, 90s, you know, stuff like that, R&B, drum and bass, garage, house, you could say electro, funk, soul, definitely a lot of stuff in that period of time, grime, yeah, earlier grime, earlier garage, stuff along them lines, a bit of pop, maybe old school 90s pop, you know what I mean, soul music, dance classics, do you know what I mean, like your 90s and stuff like that. That's generally what I generally fall under in terms of music, and a bit of rock as well, old school rock, so not to forget that one as well. But cool. She's a very pretty woman, obviously, but let's get on to a bit more what she's saying. My greatest strength, contentment, so blissful. Yeah, I guess, you know, being content is nice, but at the same time it's nice to try and push yourself out of boundaries to see what else you could like, what else you could admire and stuff, and what else you can do and build and grow in that. So that's just my thoughts on that. But that's cool, being content. Apart from all, just summarising, she's probably a bit too tall for me. She's a cute girl, but, you know, my head probably reach her chest, and that's not really cool if my head reaches her chest. I can only kiss her, you know, top of her breast, and that's not going to be cool. So, fortunately, it's going to be a no from me. We'll come to one more, and we'll call it time. Let's try and find someone who's quite good. Okay, Victoria. I don't think I've come across her before. Actually, no. No, I saw picture closely, and I was like, nah, sorry, mate, not my type whatsoever. Come on, let's find someone who's good. Last one. Let's go. Don't really want to. Someone who's a bit of a, in my eyes, a mingo. I'll just say, in my eyes, someone else they probably like her, but in my eyes, potentially could be a mingo. I'm not going to go that far and start dissing people too much. Otherwise, people are going to really turn themselves and say, right, you're just being an absolute, you're being a twitch right now. Okay, we'll just come to her. Annette says, I don't think that I've ever watched a Harry Potter film from start to finish. That's fantastic. Do you know what I mean? As long as Lord of the Rings, cool. Me and you could vibe any day of the week. She's 24, she's 5'11", she's an analyst at consultancy. All I ask is that you have good crime thriller Netflix recommendations. I have quite a few, so we already are ticking boxes here, me and her. Do you know what I mean? Going down a good route so far. Do you know what I mean? Baby, can you come my way? So far. At the end, it might not be that. It might be like, can you leave it out? Leave it out. But anyways, best travel story, she says. Seeing North Korea tourists at the DMZ. Don't know what the DMZ means. I have no idea, but I guess I'm a bit clueless on that front, but whatever. Apart from all that, she seems cool, but a bit too tall for me. She doesn't really have that je ne sais quoi for me, so unfortunately it's going to be a no from her. And that's all for this episode of Link and Ting. I'd like to obviously thank you all for tuning in to this episode. If you're feeling this episode, you know what to do below, all of that. And if you've missed previous episodes, Randy Prizzle's and Link and Ting, you know what to do. Check it out there on the Randy Prizzle page. Subscribe, like, share, comment, tell all your friends about how mad the man Randy Prizzle really is, and all of that goodness. Cool. And you know what we usually do when we finish here? Link out! Link out! Oh, link out!